What's up, guys? Here we are, hole 3. As you can see, another really short hole, but you can see we got wind straight in the face. This might be a good time. As you can see, we're only on hole 3. This would be probably a good hole to make sure that you got just a slight tailwind. As you can see, landing on this spot with a slight tailwind, we will be good. Now, considering we have a little bit right pointed wind, what I'm going to try to do is hit this into this gully a little bit, because I don't want to wind up in the rough. So you can see where I'm pointed. And like I said, we're going to try to curl back this way. And hopefully get this into this gully to the left here as opposed to rolling into the rough. And you can see it just rolls into the rough. But it might make for an easier pitch if you're able to keep that on the fairway. Now, another thing that you'll want to consider is what percentage club are we talking here? So if I was to extend this out to full and just kind of size this up in the camera, one of the easiest ways that I do this is kind of like this. And then I'll just kind of size, percentage-wise. I would imagine we're not going to be landing on the green. So if we can get this, or maybe, right around the fringe is a good starting point. It looks like we're going to have to just put this onto the green. So this is one of those times where you can try to, you kind of have to flip it to see if you can kind of size this up. But what I'll do is I'll use the screen positioning. So if I have this set up, and all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to guess what we're looking at here. So you can see that we have maybe 10, 20%, at least 20%, I'm thinking. You can see the halfway point in our screen there is 50. We're going to cut that in half again, and it's a little bit short of this bush maybe. And that kind of looks like the arc that we're talking about. This arc to the bush looks very similar, flipped around, maybe just a little bit shorter than that, which is 25%. So if we go shorter than 25%, we're right around 25%, 20, 25%. That's kind of where we are with this pitch here. So 7-9, Pro D, rough iron. But you'll also see that 25% versus 22% is pretty considerable. One ring worth of difference. So you do want to kind of dial this in. I'm thinking somewhere right around 3 rings, maybe just a hair less. Maybe 275 is kind of what I'm thinking about going. So other than that, we'll just kind of align this guide, maybe just a touch short, as you can see we're doing here. And like I said, right around maybe 275 is going to be the adjustment that I'm going to go. Now let's just see what that visually looks like too, because this is, part of the learning process of learning how to do this is saying, how much did I move that? So you can see what it visually looks like. And is it going to play that much? Well, I'm not sure. So I might just come in just a hair here, because it looks like kind of a short arc. So maybe right here. And this might be, 2.5 rings. Maybe just a hair over 2. And we're going to find out real soon that I probably shouldn't have changed it. If I wouldn't have came in 1 or 2 tick marks, we're probably pretty good. So we should have just used kind of our first instinct as opposed to kind of sizing it up and being like, well, it looks like it could be a little bit less than this. Better to just kind of use kind of what you visually inspected. But, sometimes you might look at something and just see, well, this looks like a really short arc, and you might be right. So better to use kind of a combination of all that. So keep all that in mind. Good luck. I'll see you guys on the next one.